Now let's get to the nitty gritty. Tune reminds me of my first D. Like unique, still 16 and feel.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2018.
All equal, smiles in front and behind me.
Oh, that one was
Swim in the deep blue sea, cornfields sway lazily. All smiles, all easy. Where you from, what's you on and what's your story?
Hi, my name's Nils, and I started my streetboard shed when I was about 15 years old. So it was about 95, 96 when I started with streetboarding and actually snakeboarding. I have to say that it's changed a lot since I started riding. I mean, as a female, as a girl, riding, I never saw anyone. And it was just myself. And actually, in this very place that I'm standing was one of the places that I met one of my most amazing friends, Logger, who was actually, I saw purely by coincidence. I was just about to go home. Hang on a second, you're a girl and you ride. And she said, yeah, why don't you come over? Because I'm going to meet some friends. Myself and my friend Logger then became kind of like a tag team. She was on a skateboard, I was on a snakeboard, and we used to push each other all the time. We used to go to different skate parks. But the one thing we found fundamentally was that there were no girls. And it was quite sad because we always had to push ourselves to prove ourselves that we belong. I mean, nowadays it's so inclusive because we've got girls' night, for example, in Bay 66. We've got girls competing. I mean, it's fantastic. It's on a different level, right? But for us at that time, it was very closed. And myself and my friend, we were probably one of the only, or if only the only hardcore girls that were riding. Me on my snakeboard and Logger on her skateboard. Almost like there was nothing there. We had to prove ourselves. We were riding with the boys. We had to take our turns with the boys. We really had to apply ourselves and prove ourselves worthy to be there. And I'd like to think that what we did paved the way for other girl riders to come onto the scene, because that's kind of part of that legacy. In the 90s, it was myself and my friend Logger against the world.
Yeah, so Nils is going to tell us a little story.
Yeah.
We're going to sit down, grab a coffee. And,
exactly.
There you go. So, but Nils, yeah, I think it's incredible.
Thank you, Jay. You know, I mean, we all have challenges in our lives. And sometimes these challenges, well, so personal to us and so difficult sometimes to get through and to talk about. And for me, it wasn't until I was kind of out of the woods and I realized that I can actually use this platform to let other people know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. For me, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 2018, and I can't even tell you how I felt. My kids were very young at the time. They were about 4 and 9, and it was just the hardest thing in the world to have to think about and go through. And I had to have a mastectomy. I had to have chemo. I had to have nodes out. I had to have radiotherapy. And I also had to have quite a few reconstructive surgeries, which I'm having to go through kind of another challenge again. But that's life. It's all about challenges, but it's all about punching through, getting back up, and getting stronger and being determined to do what you want to do and live your dream and live how you want to, regardless of what challenges life throws at you.
And you rode at World Championships last year.
We have Nils dropping in for a first run from the UK.
How long after having and expect you, because you had some muscles moved around?
Yeah, completely. So I had a type of reconstructive surgery that involved moving muscle from my back to the front to form a new breast. And it was literally done in October, and I was at the Worlds in August riding my board and shredding. One of my friends commented and said, I thought you were healing, but you were shredding. And I was like, yeah, that's how I am. I just can't be sat down doing nothing. I have to be on the go, and I have to be an inspiration, and I have to do what is making me feel good and also giving me healing and giving me hope. And that is what gives me healing and giving me hope, is getting back on my snakeboard.
Nils, lovely man.
This is Neil reporting live at 10, talking about Snake Like a Girl and how the project enrich female riders within the streetboarding community. You know, I have to say that this has been a really emotional journey, and this is not the first time that I've tried to speak about my cancer journey. I mean, I tried to talk about it, you know, quite a while ago, and it was such an emotional time, and it was such an emotional thing to say finally on camera and to disclose it. You know, I didn't ever think I was going to be at the point where I would want to talk about it in the way that I am now. When I was going through it, I hid it. I didn't tell anyone. And I'm happy where I am now. I'm really happy. And I'm just so grateful for Snakeboard, Streetboard family, Snake Like a Girl, Forward, just everyone who's just been always there and got my back. And, you know, like when I did the Worlds, I had a 45 stance, and that was me getting back into it. And I have to say, Thomas Delavia, he's awesome. He's so awesome for doing that for me, because it was just a one-off, but it was that confidence I needed to get back. And because I'd lost quite a lot of muscle strength, I needed a lighter board, because it was about also getting to know my body again. With that lat muscle moved, it wasn't easy. It was finding that balance and coordination again. So that really helped me in my road to recovery.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you, Nils. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Have a good one and keep riding. Subscribe. Streetboard family, Snake Like a Girl, Snakeboard UK. Go for it.